He had been in front for most of the race, but in the final few minutes he'd lost the lead, and in his desperation to get it back, he'd made a catastrophic mistake. As a car slammed into the barrier at over 200 kilometers per hour, the front of the car launched upwards. The car flipped upside down and slid uncontrollably along the track. The racers behind reacted quickly, dodging the wreck as sparks flew off the car and fire blasted out the exhaust like a flamethrower. And when the mangled Audi finally came to a stop, silence fell over the circuit. It wasn't much of a surprise to see another crash on this course. After all, the Gia circuit at Macau is regarded by many as one of, if not the most challenging track in the world, and its tight corners and narrow roads leave no room for error. When the GT World Cup started, even Laurens Vanthoors' teammate Eduardo Mortara crashed on the first turn of the qualifying race, before he could even reach the corner that Vanthoor crashed on. There had also already been a big crash in the very first lap of the main race by the BMW driver, which had completely derailed the final race. The impact had damaged the safety barriers, which needed extensive repairs that consumed a majority of the allocated race time. By the time they'd restarted, the racers no longer had enough time to finish the full 18 laps. So, according to the rules, whoever was in the lead when the time ran out would become the winner. So, as the minutes ticked down and Vanthoor lost the lead to Earl Bamber, he was desperate to push his way back in front before the time ran out. However, as the cars raced into one of the fastest corners on the circuit, in his frantic attempt to reclaim the lead that had been taken from him, Vanthoor clipped the inside curb, which unsettled the car's traction and sent the rear end into a slide. The crowd watched on in silence as the car grinded to a halt, and then Laurens Vanthoor had seemingly walked away with barely a scratch, but his luck didn't just end there.
The irony of all of this, the race will not be restarted, and by my calculations, that means Laurens Vanthoor is the winner of this race.
In a completely bizarre turn of events, this very crash was actually the moment that Vanthoor had clinched the victory. See, there wasn't enough time left to restart the race after Vanthoor's crash, and under FIA regulations, if a race can't be restarted, the results revert to the standings from the last completed lap. So, even though Earl Bamber had been leading when Vanthoor crashed, the race results were calculated based on the positions from the previous lap, when Vanthoor was still in the lead. His catastrophic crash had actually secured his victory.
Therefore, Laurens Vanthoor has become world champion upside down.